Star Wars video games. Star Wars is always been one of my favorite things for the last 2 decades plus. Ever since saw the original trilogy movies in '97, the special editions, obviously. Ever since then, I've just been really, really into those stories, the characters, the video games, which are some of my favorite games of all time. The games. There's so much to a lot of these games that, you can. It's like, well, they took inspiration for these other games, but just kind of slap Star Wars IP on it and, But there's a lot of Star Wars games that do things well and different and right, in my opinion. A lot of it comes down to, well, the writing and the characters. Of course, my favorite example, I've mentioned this before, is Knights of the Old Republic 2. It's my favorite Star Wars thing in general. And while I know that the game is incomplete, you don't have, I know there's mods, there's the, restored content mod, but regardless, there's so much there still that I look at and just go, this is great. This is great. These characters, how they're written, how they're done, how they're portrayed. It's really cool. Really great stuff. Of course, another one of my favorites is Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Then again, I love all the Kyle Katarn games. Just Kyle Katarn in general, really. He's just kind of an awesome character that I've loved ever since I first played it, which was a long time ago. It was one of those first games that I really fell in love with. I mean, at the time it was, oh, it's a Star Wars game. Oh, it's really cool. Star Wars games are cool. But there was, just because, that game is just really fun to play. Of course, you have the live action cutscenes, which are good fun, but some might think that they're cheesy or whatever, but they're fun. They're good fun, and they're really, really fun games to play. All the Kyle Katarn games. My personal favorite is Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, but that's just me. I just like the feel of it. I like a lot of it, a lot of the levels, a lot of the, all that good stuff. There's so many other Star Wars games that I feel a lot of people do overlook, sadly. One of my favorites is Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the game about Jango Fett. Before Attack of the Clones, and how he, got, the whole clone army thing. How he was the one chosen and whatnot. And the whole game was just really good stuff. And again, I don't see a lot of people talk about how good that game is, but maybe I don't see the right people talk about it. I don't know. But I really like it. It's really good stuff. It's fun. And again, at that time, you also had stuff like Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR, obviously, and Revan, Revan is just such a intriguing character, and just everything about the Knights of the Old Republic series is just really good stuff, in my opinion. Where they just, I don't know, they just got so much stuff right about that series. I wish KOTOR 3 came out. I wish that was a thing, but we never got it, sadly. We got the Old Republic, I know, but I'm not an MMO guy. There's some interesting stuff they did with the Old Republic, but I was never really interested in playing it myself just because MMOs are just never really been my thing. But Star Wars is cool, you know. Good Star Wars is awesome. I love me a good Star Wars game, movie, book, whatever. When it's good, it's good. I'll never not love this thing, just no matter what happens to it, no matter what they do. And I am really looking forward to the KOTOR remake. I'm really curious what they do with it. Yeah, hopefully they don't change up much of the story. There's some little things here that maybe make the choice between light and dark a little bit more nuanced, but who knows? We'll see. Instead of this, because KOTOR 1 had a weird thing of this, you're this perfect Jedi or this perfect person, and picking evil is just being a jerk to people, essentially. There's not much nuance into how KOTOR 1 did its dark side, light side. That saying, there's anything wrong with how they did it, but again, it's kind of one point to KOTOR 2 that why I prefer it over 1. But again, there's other games. I love the racer games. I actually really liked Racer Revenge a lot. Not a lot of people talk about it for some reason. A lot of people talk about the first one, which, I get, but I feel like the second one was a little bit more tight. I don't know, but of course they both have the same core mechanics of, you can go through a season of pod racing and upgrade your pod racer and all that good stuff, and the more stuff you do and tracks and whatnot, the more money you get, which I like. I like that. It's one of my favorite racing games personally because, well, I'm not a big racing game fan. I really like racing games like that, or kart racers, or games like Burnout. Burnout's a good one, but I just wish there was a lot more Star Wars games that were set in the Old Republic, because we got the 2, and then we got the Old Republic MMO. Of course, there's a lot of stuff in the 90s that was quite good. You had stuff like TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and all that fun stuff. Of course, Rogue Squadron was a really neat series of games. I would love to have games, Star Wars games, feel like that again. I know they had that Squadrons game, but I played it, and it didn't really quite have that same feel to me. I kind of liked how Rogue Squadron felt, personally. That's also kind of the reason why I never made TIE Fighter, and all those games are cool. I like a lot of the stuff about them, but I kind of prefer the Rogue Squadron feel of flight combat, personally. But I don't know, it's one of those things for me. I don't know. But the other series of games is Battlefront 1 and 2, the originals. The amount of time I spent on both of those games, me and my friend, we spent a whole lot of time on those games. I don't know how long, but man, we spent a long time on those. Like, because I don't know if you remember, you had the medals and all that, like the ranking stuff in KOTOR 2, in KOTOR Battlefront 2, and I got every single thing to Legendary. Yeah, that was a lot of time. That was a lot of time dedicated to that game, and I never felt bad about it. I love those two games. There was things about Battlefront 1 I actually like more than 2. A few things I like, some of the maps that were in 1 that they took out of 2 for some reason. Like the Renvar maps. I don't know why they didn't just have all the maps from the first game and then introduce new ones, but well. Because I really liked the Kashyyyk maps in the first one. Because I remember that was one of the advertising things, is that they were a planet from episode 3 is going to be in Battlefront 1 or whatever, and it was Kashyyyk, and that was kind of cool. Of course, the map is not quite like they did it in the movie, obviously, because they didn't, you know. Battlefront 2 obviously got it, but I like the maps in 1 a lot. I don't know. But, also there's, you had a lot of the movie title games, the episode 1 game, the Phantom Menace game I played it on PC. I never didn't have it on PlayStation, but I loved that game on PC. It is silly, but man, it was such a good game. Such a, fun game that you could have the freedom to do a lot of things. Yeah, the amount of times I spent on Mos Espa, on Tatooine, a lot of time spent there. Yeah, good stuff. I know they had like a Game Boy Advance game for Attack of the Clones that I never played because I never had a Game Boy. Really, so I've never really been a big handheld guy. But I really, really loved the Revenge of the Sith game. That had some good, cool stuff. You played through the movie and the events of the movie, and you had some, you had like an alternate ending of Anakin killing Obi-Wan instead, and I thought that was really cool. And then killing Palpatine. And also they had the versus mode, which was fun. Grievous was really, really fun to play because, I was a Grievous fan. I mean, if you can't tell by my channel's name, it basically comes from Grievous. So, yeah. But yeah, they had a few other little cool things about that game that I really liked. But and they also had a few Star Wars strategy games, which were really cool. You had Empire at War, of course, which is good fun. I enjoy booting that up every so often and just playing around with it and having a good fun time playing that. But I don't know if many people remember, but there's the Star Wars Force Commander game that is a strategy game and all that. But like I remember trying to play the campaign and not understanding how to do the tutorial. But they had this skirmish mode, which was really cool to watch play out because you could just watch a bunch of computer, bots, AI armies go up against each other. You could have like Thrawn, Dala, Dodonna, and a bunch of different of those kinds of characters like could lead their armies or whatever against each other. And it always felt like the AI always seemed to play and work how they would do it. I don't know, maybe that was just my young mind, like, oh man, Thrawn's super good in this, he's like the best. But I don't know. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. Also, the menu music was really, really good. But yeah, I also had games like Shadows of the Empire, which was, it was really good. Good fun. The whole Shadows of the Empire multimedia thing that they were trying to do. You had a game, book, comics, action figures, just the whole shebang, basically. And I know there was like a talk of a movie or something like that they were going to do with Shadows of the Empire, but obviously that never happened. But yeah, Star Wars games are just really, really good. I mean, not every game. There's some bad there. There's some not so hot Star Wars games. But the good Star Wars stuff, it's really good. You had games like Force Unleashed, which they had like all the different versions of the game. Gosh, and apparently I somehow lucked into getting like the quote unquote best version of the game because I had a PS2 at the time. And the PS2 had the Jedi, the Jedi Temple and whatnot, and the other versions didn't because like each version had like a different thing about it. I just so happened to have the neat Jedi Temple levels, which was cool. The first Force Unleashed game I actually like fine. It's not like amazing or anything, but I like it. It's good fun. But Force Unleashed 2 is fun for a few minutes and then it gets really boring. I mean, basically Force Unleashed is like, I'm overpowered guy. Just you just want to slaughter stormtroopers like they're nothing. That's the game for you, basically. But Force Unleashed 2's story was a thing. I don't know, I didn't really like it that much. Just gonna be honest about it. Because it made no sense. There were things about that game that just made no sense. But the first game, I liked good many aspects of it. So, yeah. You have more modern stuff, like you have Jedi Fallen Order, which I've still never played. But I saw like, I've seen the ending. I know what happens. But there's something there that doesn't quite grab me. And I don't know what it is. But, yeah. Of course, we have certain games that have been announced that I'm intrigued by. Obviously the KOTOR remake, as I mentioned before, that Star Wars Eclipse game from Quantic Dreams could be interesting. Maybe. I am also very interested in seeing Amy Hennig's Star Wars game. I think that could be really cool. I kind of hope because I know I know they had that one game that was canceled. It was going to basically be like Uncharted Star Wars or something, which could be cool. But I kind of would love if she leans more on her Legacy of Kain writing stuff personally, but that's just me. I really love the Legacy of Kain series, but and hopefully that comes back too. But yeah, so again, like I said, Star Wars games could be really cool. I really want more cool, good Star Wars games though. I want there to just continue to be more good stuff out there. Um, but yeah, but before things continue onward, thank you everyone for watching, and again, thank you everyone for watching, everyone for being awesome. I messed that up. Whatever. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Again, thank you everyone for being awesome. Thank you for whatever, and have a good one.